non-traditional form of flying that electric aviation with its better controls is and needing for more efficiency has kind of brought back a little bit in the forelight, even though not much. It's something called a cyclocopter. And of instead of having a fan that air comes in and blows out in the same direction, imagine it's rotating blades more like a paddle wheel, where the air comes in and it's pushed out of the paddle. But instead, make these paddles, and I have pictures here, diagrams from the internet to make it better see. But imagine that these paddles instead also move and rotate depending on how the air comes in. So when it's moving in the way of the forward thrust direction, the paddles are perpendicular to the air and push it like a fan with like a big leaf where you push the air. When it's coming when it's going the opposite direction of where the air is supposed to be going, it's flat. And that way, when it's flat, it cuts through the air more easily. But it also produces lift during that part. And then by varying the angles of attack throughout the circle, I can very efficiently produce more lift and more thrust. Now, it's more efficient than a traditional propeller system on an aircraft because lift is produced along the whole wing more, which means that there's less turbulence. It's not like air is moving faster in one section of the wing and sucks in other air, which creates turbulence and flows, unevenness, and the wing can't be optimally designed there. It also is more efficient because turbulence drains thrust. It mixes up the air more, so less of the air goes in one direction. And some of the air that's being pushed on top and sucked at the top creates a lower air pressure even more on top, which increases the high air pressure below it. But I think this could be, and other people have talked about in the past, but I want to bring it back to the forefront, could be used for boats, to make boats more efficient. And boats are one of the biggest forms of transportation because water is more dense than air. So it can even produce more lift and more thrust, and it's also better for pushing. So this whole design should work better. But water has problems with traditional propellers, and that is that cavitation. When you suck up a small bunch of, when you move a propeller through water fast, it makes little bubbles because some of the water gets not present in the area. So it either becomes vapor or not, just a vacuum. And that then water gets sucked in there, which slowly corrodes away the strongest of propellers, damages them, so you have to over-engineer them. And it also uses up a lot of the energy and main inefficiency. This system will get rid of most of those problems by making the propeller spin less fast because it's more water being pushed over a bigger area. It's not less concentrated. It would also get rid of a lot of cavitation by instead more working like a paddle wheel or something, or slicing through it, which is a less turbulent flow manner, like I talked about air, but even more. And this couldn't be more efficient if you look at it from a perspective of reducing the weight even more in the water by creating lift, like hydroplanes or something like that. So your boats are faster, but also weigh less in the water. So you use some of the extra energy to lift up the boat, reducing drag in the water, because the water is the main source of drag. Now you have to counterbalance that with also the energy used to lift it, so it will be a balance. A way to get around the problem even more so is if you just want to have it push water, paddle water in the actual water and have the part that's moving the wrong direction, the opposite direction of the thrust needed generated, out in the air, more like a traditional paddle wheel thing, but with the blades changing geometry depending on where they are. And then you could have but that also means that if it's out of the water, you also have to have it more on the sides, so to make the whole boat a lot bigger with width compared to what you normally want. Or you could have something with a mixture that the paddles change location depending on where it is. So it changes how much in and out of the water it goes up. Well, thank you very much for listening. Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers in a year, and 4,000 watts hours, which is really hard. With your help, I think I can do it. Also, if any ideas for future videos, comments, or suggestions, please leave in the comments section below. Again, thank you very much. Goodbye.